How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today, I want to talk to you about stocks that I think could double. Now, I also want to talk to you about the general market, what's happening right now, what I'm seeing, what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be investing in, and all that kind of stuff. This is going to be a little bit more of a full episode or full video than usual. Honestly, it's kind of a quiet day in the stock market. There's no big controversy. The Fed talked yesterday. It was kind of what we expected, maybe a little bit on the positive side, honestly. And we saw the market open kind of red, honestly, due to some treasury yields going up. But now we're seeing a little bit of a recovery. Everything's calming down a little bit, maybe just before Friday, maybe before power hour today. But I want to talk to you about all that kind of stuff today and tell you about what I've been buying recently and why I think it will do quite well. So if you guys like this, please just leave a thumbs up. On the last video, we only had like 800 likes and we had almost 20,000 views. Let's try to get up to 2,000 likes on this video. I would really appreciate that. It helps out the channel a lot. So thank you for doing that. But let's get into it here. So we can see all the indexes coming up a little bit from the lows today. They're up about 0.5% to 1%, which is nice to see because we actually opened up pretty red. You can see we're still more red than green, but it is a nice trend. Now, on individual stocks, some stuff that I'm seeing, we can see JP Morgan Chase actually doing quite well. Clean Spark coming up a good amount from the bottom. Voyager actually doing quite well. Gorse Holding. But we get down here and we have a lot of red down here, including Lordstown Motors. A lot of people have been asking me about them towards the bottom at about negative 10% on the day. But everything else is, negative 2 to negative 4%. So honestly, not that bad. And a lot are coming up a little bit. We also have Ethereum coming up a little bit, and we had Bitcoin actually spiking there for a little while. You can see it's almost at 60,000 again, which people hadn't been really paying attention to that too much over the last day or so. I think that since it's only up a little bit, people aren't going crazy over it now because we were at almost $62,000 a few days ago. If you guys want, though, there is a link down to BlockFi. BlockFi actually pays you an interest rate on your cryptocurrency. You can see how much I've earned just this month alone. They also pay a bonus of up to $250. More and more people are signing up. I can see the back end, like a lot of people are getting into Bitcoin now, especially before the next quarter, where a lot of S&P 500 companies are going to be investing, I think, in Bitcoin. I actually did a poll where most people said that 300 plus companies would be investing in Bitcoin of the S&P 500. I wanted to point this out in case you guys haven't seen. I've been doing videos on my second channel, so the name of the channel is My Financial Friend 2. I'll put a link down below, but I've been answering questions from the Patreon, so every single day or, every 2 days or something, I've been answering questions in the Patreon that people have and just making a video on it because it's easier to do it in that format than type it all out. So in case you guys want to check out the second channel, I'll put the link down below. Also, there is the link to Patreon in case you want to ask the questions. We have a couple different channels where people can ask questions and I'm answering them on this channel. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Turning back to the sticks here, we're actually up a decent amount. If you guys want something like this where you can actually see how the sticks are moving like this, you can check out the link down below to WeBull to get some free stocks. But again, like I said, the 10-year treasury is coming down a little bit. It went all the way up to 1.75 or 1.76 almost, and now it's down to 1.73. It's really having an effect on a lot of stocks out there. Now, the stocks that I've been buying recently that I think will do quite well, one of them is right here. It's a Voyager Digital. It's the ticker VYGVF. It's on the OTC market. I talked about it in a full video yesterday. Actually, a lot of people watched that. I'll put it up on the end screen if you want to check it out a little bit longer. But this stock, we bought under, I think right around 20, maybe 19.5, something like that, 19, something like that. And now it's up about 20%. This is a company that's growing revenues so quickly. It's growing revenue from February. It had $20 million in revenue. The month before, it only had 8.6 in January. And then the month before that, they had 1.7 million in December of revenue. So they pretty much 5x'd it from December to January. Then they 2.5x'd it this last month. It's a company that's at a price to sales ratio that's a little bit higher today than it was a few days ago, but still around a 12 to 13 price to sales ratio, as opposed to some other companies that we're seeing valued 15, 20, 30 price to sales ratio in this fintech space. And this company is growing a lot faster. Now, the price of the company has been moving up a lot, which is fair because they have been growing revenues a lot. But as the Bitcoin craze gets larger and larger, as Bitcoin hits all-time highs, it's going to become more and more attractive because more and more people are going to be pulled to it. It's a crypto platform and it has a lot of altcoins and it pays a lot of interest on a lot of altcoins. So it's definitely one to take a look at if you haven't already. Again, I'll put up the full video on it on the end screen. Then we have TPGY. I bought this one last week. I think I bought it all last week. And this is a charging company that is over in Europe mostly. That's where most of the revenue comes from. I think of it as like the European charge point. It's a little bit smaller, but they're expecting some better growth because of the European market. It's a little bit different than ChargePoint, obviously, but it is cheaper per the 2-year outlook on price to sales ratio. But, it's not going to take advantage of the infrastructure bills here in the U.S. as much. So I think of it as like a supplementary charge point, almost like a little diversification play for EV charging. And I do plan on picking up more of this, but I started off the position in the last couple of weeks. I definitely plan on buying more of this. This is one of the only stocks here today that isn't actually up since we bought it in the last 2 weeks. These are my 5 most recent buys in the market. CLSK, I bought some in the $22 range. It's actually spiking up a good amount today. The main thing that's stopping people, I think, from investing in them is this lawsuit. They have a lawsuit against them and they're countersuing, but this company got beaten down after they recently announced that they were raising $200 million worth of funding, $200 million for their balance sheet. And now it's coming back quite strong. You can see it went all the way down to about $22.08, I want to say. And now it's in around $24.90, $25. Definitely want to take a look at. It's in the Bitcoin mining space. It's also in the electric grid space. And I think it'll do quite well, especially if they can just clear this up, even if they settle or something and they have to pay, I don't even know, $10, $20 million just to get out of the way. I think the stock price will go up on this news. But of course, there is risk on that side. But I think the revenues are going to surprise a lot of people this next quarter. I really hope so too. I think they will do that, but I'm not making this my largest position moving up until that quarter because if they don't impress on the next quarter results, I think the stock will drop most likely, but I'm bullish on it overall. So I have been adding a little bit more. We also have Square. This company is a $105 billion fintech company. This one has been moving up a lot over the last year. You can obviously tell it was a $40 stock. It's moved up. It's 5x, 6x. And this one is just a great play on fintech, I think. I think this is going to be a company that continues to grow. It moves faster than a lot of the traditional companies. It's getting into the NFT space. It's doing so many different things. It's almost hard to wrap your head around everything that Square does. But I think this is one of those companies that you can put your money in, rest easy at night. If it falls down, let's say it fell down 30, 40%, I'd just be picking up more. I'd be excited at that. It's a really solid company, and I want to put my money in something. It was beaten down a little bit. I bought in the 225 range. The next one is Tattooed Chef. I picked up some more of this week. Really, this one is just one that's still down a decent amount. I think it's going to grow. It's in a growing industry. It's at a discount compared to its competitors like Very Good Food Company and like Beyond Meat. Of course, there are risks to it, but it was a $27 stock. It was almost a $30 stock back in September. It's come down about 24% since those highs. And I really think that this is going to be a company that's going to be good over the long term, and I think it's going to continue to grow. And it's really just starting its own brand, and I think it will do quite well. As the plant-based industry grows too, I think it's going to be a real winner over the long term. It's a $1.5 billion company that's growing revenues quite quickly. I've heard some arguments being made that their revenues are just this high because of the SPAC craze, because so many more people are going out and testing it, or that everyone's eating at home anyway, so they're buying more Tattooed Chef. But they just announced that they were bringing more products to Target, like 6 new products. I've tried to go to Target and I've not been able to pick up any of their items. I've not been able to pick up any of their food. So I think it does have a good sales rate. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I think these are 5 really good companies. Obviously, I think that because I've been buying them. But honestly, I think any of these could double in the next couple years. Probably more than that on some of them. Now, going forward, I have been a little bit more cautious of buying this week. Part of that is because we have SLR falling off here in a couple weeks, the liquidity ratio. So I think the Fed might not update that. So I talked about in my video yesterday on the Fed. It's something that is going to fall off on March 31st. That could negatively affect the market. Jerome Powell said that he would talk about it in a few weeks, but I could be wrong. I don't see a ton of deals right now. Like, stocks aren't down like they were a couple weeks ago. There's a lot of uncertainty. So I'm putting more money on the sidelines than I was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago when we were seeing a lot of dips. I'm just kind of waiting, sitting back. There are a couple of stocks here and there that I'm buying, like these ones here, but I'm not going really heavy on anything at the moment. So that's kind of my thought process on that. But let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know if this is something that you think is possible. Let me know which of these companies you're looking at or which companies you would rather have me look at. Definitely tell me in the comments below. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for checking out the second channel. Checking out BlockFi, WeBull, all that kind of good stuff, or the Patreon to see exactly when I'm buying and selling. I've been giving updates on the market pretty much every day, why the stock market's up, why it's green, or why it's down, and what's happening throughout the day. And I've been telling people what I'm buying, my thoughts on this. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Check out this video on Voyager here on the end screen. Thanks.